The movie opens with a group of US Navy SEALs killing some insurgents. They move through the ruins of that building and the streets of Aleppo looking for someone. After they exit the building, Agent Ritter shows up and gives them instructions to free a CIA hostage being held by Syrian government forces. Team leader John Kelly moves his team to a new area of town after receiving some brief information from that agent. They launch an attack on a rumored structure and free the prisoners. After they complete their mission, John Kelly examines the dead Syrian soldier's pockets and learns from his phone data that he was a former soldier in the Russian army. He is asked to drop this issue and leave as soon as possible, according to Agent Ritter. As they were leaving, an RPG was fired at them by a Russian unit. Kelly launches a counteroffensive with his team. They realized right away that it was a Russian weapons depot and not a safe haven for Syrian forces. They escape from the difficult battle with the freed hostage to the top of the building, where a helicopter is waiting for them. Kelly accuses Ritter of being responsible for his men's deaths at the hands of the Russians from the helicopter. They'll soon detonate the building and run away. Then, outside of his home, one of Kelly's team members, who had just retired from the military and was visiting his family, is struck by a van. After some time has passed, some unidentified assailants kill another retired team member while they are on the road. These soldiers were some of those involved in the 3-year-old operation to free the CIA hostage in Aleppo. Kelly leaves his wife to sleep and goes to the sofa to eat snacks and listen to music at night as they prepare to go to bed in their bedroom. He eventually turns off his laptop. He becomes aware that his home's power has been cut. He hears approaching footsteps and the opening of a door, so he grabs his revolver and follows the footsteps. He finds out that there have been multiple break-ins at his house. As Kelly kills them one by one, they murder his pregnant wife. When he is shot and injured, he is prepared to kill the last person. The attacker leaves the house as he runs out of ammunition. Kelly crouches down in his bedroom to check on his wife, but she has passed away. He is being taken to the medical center. After some time, he eventually awakens. He receives a visit from Karen Greer, the captain of his Navy SEAL team, who informs him of the deaths of his wife and 2 former teammates. She also lets him know about the safety precautions taken for the remaining members of the SEAL team. He tells her that the people who attacked his home weren't just regular people or robbers, but rather experts. They intentionally went there. She says she doesn't know anything, but he asks her to do him a favor and tell him who the attackers are. She tells him to get some rest because the case is being looked into. Kelly rejoins a U.S. Army Special Forces team after finally recovering. The Secretary of Defense schedules a meeting with Agents Ritter and Greer in the interim. Agent Ritter reveals to them that the attackers are Russians during the conversation. He asserts that they are FSB, or Federal Security Force, personnel and Russian soldiers. He reveals to the secretary that a few years ago, Kelly and his team attacked the FSB in Aleppo in an effort to free the CIA hostage. And in response to the strike, the Russians are taking action. He also lets them know that the CIA had decided not to respond to these incidents in any way. As he continues to look into the matter, he comes to the conclusion that they won't cause any issues with the attackers or Russia. After some time has passed, Karen informs Kelly that they are the Russians who killed his wife and friends. She also tells him that the CIA will stop the investigation. She owes him a courtesy by giving him access to the records of their American passport facilitators. They received assistance from Andre in getting into the country. With all the information he needs, the main character gets to work right away, seeking revenge for the deaths of his wife and close friends. Kelly then makes her way to Andre's office while acting drunk. Security for Andre stops him and dismisses him. In the end, the main character goes back to his pickup and makes the decision to drive after them. He pursues Andre's car on the highway and collides with him at the turn. He blocks Andre's car in such a way that he is unable to exit it. He starts his car on fire and gets inside. In order to identify the 4th Russian member of the squad, he threatens Andre while shooting him in the leg. After some hesitation, Andre finally says that the name is Viktor Rykov. When the protagonist gets out of the car, the police stop him. Karen visits Kelly while he is incarcerated. She warns him that he is facing serious consequences for killing Andrei. Since Russian is now going to take action as a result of his behavior, everyone in the office is upset. However, he assures her that he will execute everyone charged with his wife's slaying. Additionally, he tells her that if they want to learn what he knows that they don't, they should work to have him released from prison. Kelly returns to his cell and hears activity outside. He is asked to stand and face the wall so that he can be removed from the prison for further investigation, but he declines. 3 officers then attempt to drag him away. He retaliates and makes a murderous threat against one of the officers. They must leave the prison, the protagonist commands. A U.S. Marshal soon shows up at the jail and invites Kelly to go with them. He gives Kelly a phone so they can talk. He picks up the handset and starts to speak. Karen approaches him and requests to go with the marshal. At an unnamed military installation, the protagonist joins them for a private meeting. He divulges the name Viktor Rykov after being asked to share some confidential information. He is asked to name the images of Viktor in them, but Agent Ritter tells them that he has passed away. Kelly does, however, recognize him in the images. Later, Ritter reveals to them that Viktor is a Russian spy working in various capacities in the US. He also tells them that the CIA had been trying to catch him for a while, but they had been unsuccessful. They learn from the secretary that Viktor is currently hiding in Russia. Kelly insists on being allowed to join the team going to capture him, and the secretary gives in. After that, Kelly, his staff, and Lieutenant Commander Karen get ready to board a plane for Russia. They are told by Agent Ritter when he arrives that he will meet them in Moscow. Kelly is wary of him, so he chooses to be more watchful around Ritter. Karen and Kelly then get on a plane and fly to Russia. Their plane is abruptly intercepted by the Russian Air Force as they get close to Russian Federation territory. The Russians ask that they arrive at the airport in Murmansk as soon as possible. The Russians attack the wing of their aircraft when the pilot declines. The aircraft crashes into the Barents Sea and touches down on Russian soil. The team makes an effort to escape the water, including Kelly. They live on a boat while taking refuge in a Russian safe house. They eventually make their way to another safe house in Murmansk, where Ritter is hatching a scheme with 2 Russians and money on the table. Ritter is forced to reveal his true intentions after Kelly accuses him of betraying the group. Ritter explains to him that he came to complete the mission of capturing Viktor and that he arrived after the plane attack, when they believed they were dead. Additionally, he tells him that he paid those 2 Russians to direct them to Viktor. He is being choked by Kelly, who is about to shoot. When Karen shows up, she implores him not to lose his cool. In the end, the main character is able to restrain his emotions and save Ritter's life. Then Agent Ritter takes them to Viktor's apartment. When Kelly arrives, the bodyguards for Viktor are already dead. Viktor, who is waiting for them and wearing a suicide jacket, is visible to him. Kelly is greeted by Viktor, who says he knew the main character and his men were headed to Russia to kill him. He is reassured by Viktor that he did not plot to murder Kelly and his unborn wife. Viktor claims that he and Kelly are in the same boat and that someone brought them here so they could commit suicide as Kelly continues to listen. Then Kelly requests that he listen to him, but the man presses the button and detonates himself. After the explosion, Dallas, a member of Kelly's squad, is shot by a sniper. They are struggling to find the sniper. They ascertain it quickly and murder him. However, another sniper starts to fire on them in the interim. In the end, Karen and Kelly locate the adversaries and execute them. Russian law enforcement and the military have surrounded the apartment building in the interim. As he turns to face the police officers on the rooftop, Kelly orders his soldiers to flee through the building's back entrance. He sets off a device that kills numerous police officers, but his men are able to escape the apartment complex in a van. Kelly keeps his adversaries occupied with him while they flee. On the stairs of the apartment, he also engages in combat with the military personnel sent to seize him. In the end, the protagonist also makes it out, posing as a member of the Russian army and donning a tear gas mask. He then drives a Russian car to the coordinates. He is met by Karen, who then takes him to a boat. Together with his remaining team members, Ritter and Karen, he quickly leaves Russia. On the boat, Kelly grills Agent Ritter about Victor and his work for the CIA. His career is discussed by Ritter. Additionally, he gives him instructions to hide somewhere in the world while on the boat with a money bag. He swears to inform the CIA office that he was killed during the operation. Kelly expresses gratitude and regrets having previously viewed him as a traitor. The main character first appears after some time, when Secretary Clay is in a restaurant's bathroom. He brings up Victor's pawn conversations and challenges him about his true motivations for sending him to Russia. When he is unable to respond, the main character abducts him in his car. In case he does not tell the truth, Kelly has threatened to kill his family. Finally, Secretary Clay provides the justification for his assignment. He continues by implying that in order to boost the economy, US-Russian relations should be restricted. They have good reason to threaten war against the populations of both countries in light of these events. He goes on to say that this unites the American people in opposition to their common foe, Russia. He tells him that he and his co-workers were nothing more than bait. They therefore intended to gather them all there so they could murder one another. In this manner, there would be no reason to suspect either nation's governments. During his conversation, the main character crashes his car into a river, drowning both Secretary Clay and himself. Kelly is then rescued from the river by Karen. Kelly gives the CIA the recording of Clay and Karen's confessional remarks. He receives a new passport from Karen as she drops him off at the airport. She implores him to begin again under a different name and not to forget about her.